you can see, we are talking about, well, we are going to be doing a under 23-year-old NBA fantasy draft. I got this idea obviously from the famous Bleacher Report, which has become a very big fad on my channel, and they actually did a fantasy draft for themselves, but I thought it'd be cool if we did our own fantasy draft for players 23 and under, I think is the rule. So this is going to be more of a what player would you draft if you were at this certain position, and it's going to be like your core centerpiece for your franchise. So you have to take in their current NBA skills plus being able to win right now, plus their potential in the NBA. So a lot of different variables are going on at once. So with that being said, yesterday I posted a video. If you didn't know, I have been posting daily, and I will be posting the rest of December every day, every day, maybe even sometimes twice a day. So make sure you guys check out the video we posted yesterday, which was, what was that? Oh, it was a NBA top 10 big threes of all time. So we talk about, LeBron, Wade, Bosh, Magic, Kareem, Worthy. We talk about all of the NBA big threes that have been very great in years past. This is going to be, let's see, I'm just going to put NBA draft. Let's make it nice and easy for us. Obviously not a regular NBA draft, but a draft of a different kind. That is okay with me. As you guys know, my handwriting is atrocious, but you guys seem to very much like the writing sounds. So I actually have off to the side of me a piece of paper I have that I'm just going to be scribbling and writing on that will give off a little bit more of writing sounds. So if you guys really like writing sounds, it'll be better in this video. So let's finally get started. Now, regularly, if we're talking about doing an NBA draft, we go from, if we go with how I do my videos, I usually count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But in today's video, we're doing something different. We're going to be counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, since this is a draft. And we're going to be talking about, yes, the first pick first, because it is the first pick. So let's say your favorite team, somehow the NBA gets totally bamboozled and every team loses every player. Let's say it's your favorite team. Let's say your favorite team is the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they lost all their players, and they get the first pick of the NBA fantasy draft. Players under 23. Who are they going to take? And at least in my opinion, if I am the blank team with the first pick, I personally am going to have to go with a player that we all love to watch, and is arguably one of the best youngest players in the NBA, and is still maybe even one of the best players in the NBA right now. That is Luka Doncic. I think it's D-O-N-C-I-C. Luka the Don. I think all the players who are 23 and under, I think it is hands down, without a doubt, that Luka Doncic does go number one. Luka Doncic is a player who averages right now a 21-year-old, 28, basically 29, rounded that boy up to 30 points per game, 9 rebounds, 8.8 assists, and his third highest in PER ranking in the NBA right now. He is doing this all while shooting only 31.6% from 3. This man doesn't even have a correct jump shot yet. 46% from the field goal range, so he's shooting very, very, very efficiently as well. Not only just scoring in bunches, but meaningful buckets are the best kind of buckets. And yeah, really, the only thing you could really knack on Luka is his defense, which obviously over time, if you know, every young player really needs help on defense. So I think if that happened and you had to pick a player 23 and under, you would no doubt in my mind to pick Luka Doncic. There are amazing players in the NBA 23 and under, like we're gonna list them obviously. But I think number one, you go Luka Doncic. This man can carry your franchise without a doubt. Next up, we have the second overall pick. And again, let's say Luka went number one. You are now up at number two. Who are you going to pick to basically build your franchise around with a player 23 and under? In my opinion, it's gonna have to be another very, very great player that still is one of the top players in the NBA, but just like Luka, can win you NBA basketball games right now. And it is I think it's Owen, right? Yeah. Duh. Jayson Tatum, yes. We all forget that not only is Jayson Tatum under 23, he is one of the best go-get-em bucket getters in the NBA. Now, again, we're going to be talking about a lot of other players you could take at two. Player number three that I'm going to be talking about later, you could probably argue could be the second overall pick. But the reason why I like Jayson Tatum so much, like I just said, you can put your the ball in the hands of Jayson Tatum and he will go get you a game-winning bucket. Not a lot of the other players we're going to be talking about, you could argue, can do that. He's also a very, 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 very good perimeter defender. You could probably even put Jayson Tatum over Luka Doncic if you're just really worried more about, the defensive side of basketball. Jayson Tatum would be your guy. He averaged 23 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists, with a over 20 PER, which is a really good stat line to sort of overall game. It sort of takes everything from a player. Also, need to realize that Jayson Tatum, for the past, let's say, 2 seasons-ish, has been playing at the power forward position and not his true position. Playing Jayson Tatum at the 3 will very much benefit his game. Finally going up against players his own size will help him out a lot more, in my opinion, with different stats here and there. He's also shooting 45% from the field, 40% from the 3, 80% from the free throw line, averaging nearly a block and a steal and a half a game. Oh man, I love Jayson Tatum. He's definitely a player that the Boston Celtics fans obviously very much love and adore. Number three on the list here is finally a player who is a little bit of a young buck in the NBA, but is a player that honestly can be the next face of the NBA. Maybe. Obviously, there's Giannis and Tatum and Luka, but this player has potential. And I think if, say, you were the team with the number 3 pick in this draft, I think it's AM's son, you would take Zion Williamson. Is definitely a risk, in my opinion, and I don't know really why I'm doing this. Zion, if, you're down 2, you're down 3, you're down 1, can you give the ball to Zion in a half-court set and him win you a game? I don't know, and that's why it's kind of a riskier pick. If you're talking about offense, defense, definitely has a lot of potential, but can Zion be that go-to guy down the stretch? We will see, but I think out of this whole entire draft, against other, these two other guys, I feel like Zion's probably the next guy up. At number 4, at number 4, at number 4, at number 4, at number 4 here. Oh, it's going to be a tight fit for 4 and 5, but I think we can do it. This one is definitely a toss-up. There are one and two really good guards here that I'm going to be talking about at 4 and 5. And I'm only going to give this player at 4 the edge because he is a older player, has been doing it a little bit, like slightly a little bit longer, and I feel like having a point guard who is more of a floor general and has a knack of, making teammates around him better, I feel like will be nice. And obviously, I'm not saying player 5 doesn't have that, I'm just saying player 4, again, has been doing it a little bit longer, and I just have a little bit more trust in this kid. And his name is Trey Young at number 4. Now, y'all know Trey Young definitely has a lot to prove this year. We talked about it a little bit in previous videos about players who have a lot to prove in the upcoming season. And I said Trey Young is going to be one of those guys who are going to have to lock it in this year in order to bring his Atlanta Hawks finally to a little bit more of a respectable record and potentially, making the playoffs, seeing what you could do with, Bogdanovich, Cam / DeAndre Hunter. You got John Collins, Anyike, what's that big boy's name? Clint Capella. You have him now, so you got a squad. You're about 6-7 men deep with a good roster. Can Trey Young do it? And I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say yes, he can. I think Trey Young is an amazing player. The dude averaged 30 points a game this year, and I think was 3rd in assists this year, only behind, amazing players. Obviously, LeBron, who led the league in assists, which is super crazy to think about. But I'm gonna say Trey Young can definitely do it. Although, when we're talking about defense, Trey Young is definitely the one who is probably the most odd man out of this sort of conversation. But I definitely give him more, obviously, with not only being an amazing scorer, but sort of has that Steph Curry-esque sort of defense where he has so much to handle on offense, where when the defense comes, you can either hide him on defense on a sort of corner 3 player, or his offense is so much of a carry that his defense is his offense. And, players get tired, players are tuckered out, and is usually just uses a lot of his energy on offense. So like I said, he was 4th in scoring in the league this year, 2nd in assist, actually only behind LeBron, 10th in PER rankings. Absolutely mad. Player number 5 is, I don't want to say the opposite of that, because player 5 is still an amazing, smart player who has the ability to sort of be a good scorer like Trey, but player number 5, I'm going to say Morant. Player number 5, he averaged 17 points per game last year, 4 rebounds and 7 assists, which was 10th in the league, top 10 in assists his rookie year. That is a wow factor. My goodness, very much capable. Yeah, Morant is definitely going to be, again, like Trey, like some other players we're going to be talking about, are going to be in that race for being the next great pure point guard in the NBA. He averaged 47% from the field, 33% from 3, averaging nearly a shot to 3 shots per game from the 3-point line, nearly 80% from the free throw line, a steal a game as well. The man looks like he's going to be a very efficient scorer and player from the game. Now, athleticism, which is good, amazing. Great players have come from that, like Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose, players like that. But until I see him become more of a floor general type of point guard, which I think I would favor a lot more in sort of a fantasy style draft where you don't have no players, you only get to pick one, and then obviously when other players come around, you can start building that sort of team. I feel like having a player like Trey Young who could probably work better in a team sort of flow than Ja, who is not a great shooter and is a good facilitator, but not obviously the level of Trey Young already is, only being a year older. I think it might be a little bit of a safer pick, so that's why I sort of give the nod to Trey over Ja, but again, you can switch these two. No sweat off of me. So, okay, player number 6. 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 We're going to get in a little bit more of a rough territory where I'm not really going to have a lot of set picks. I feel like top 3 is very set. Then after that, it gets very sort of wishy-washy with how you want to pick up players. But, man, these next ones are pretty tough, in my opinion. Number 6, I'm going to have to go with a very long name player. If I can fit all this on there. But number 6 is going to be the teammate of Ja Morant, and that is Jaren Jackson. And right here, I'm going to put Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that's how you spell his name. Now, again, very wishy-washy pick. I think this is a nice spot for him only because, again, you're basing this base off of potential. And Jaren Jackson Jr. looks like one of those players who can really, really become, obviously in a league with very, very limited power forwards, can maybe be one of the next great power forwards in the NBA. Obviously, without, Anthony Davis, Giannis, there's some really good ones still in the league. I feel like Jaren Jackson could sneak up and be that next one up. He averaged this past season 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, and nearly 2 assists. Top 100 in PER, which isn't too bad for a player only in his second year, and is still 21. He is the same age as Ja Morant in his second year. Very young player, still developing. This past year, in under 30 minutes a game, he averaged 28 minutes per game, shot 57% from the field, 40% from 3, averaging 2 to 6 a game. That is important. Very nice stretch 4, stretch 5 type of player with great defense, almost averaging 2 blocks a game from this young man. Love that. Nearly a steal as well. So, maybe you see all these other players and you want to go big. He is maybe the first and maybe best young big man in the NBA, besides obviously, players over the age of 20, 23, right? 22, 23, yeah. So, those players obviously like Kristaps Porzingis are still really young, and Giannis who's still super young, but if we're doing a super young potential sort of fantasy draft, Jaren might be your guy. And just like with Ja, as the Memphis Grizzlies develop young players like Ja and Jaren, Dylan Brooks, Brandon Clark, they're still really great young players on that team. They will all help each other get better. And I think Jaren's going to surprise a lot of people. Pick number 7 here is the other guard that I really wanted to put over Jaren, but is a player who's a lot like Ja, but Ja just, I think, will develop better and faster than this other player. I always read there's an apostrophe there. It is D apostrophe Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings. I feel like is a very, very, very safe, very nice, very safe and nice pick. Now, the only real reason why I didn't really put De'Aaron over Jaren Jackson because I feel like big men are very rare in today's NBA, especially a stretch five big man like Jaren can be. Very great defensively as well, very young still as well. Jaren has been in the NBA a little bit longer. I feel like we've almost seen the best of Jaren. I really hope we haven't, but I feel like there's not really much more Jaren can do better besides adding more of a three-point shot. I think he's still a very good defender. I think he's a very good sort of floor general type of player. I think he's a very fast. He's one of the fastest players in the NBA. Very athletic. That's really what he's really working with right now. If he adds a three-point shot, then he starts becoming, top point guards in the NBA type of conversations. But right now, with the team I've seen him with, how he plays with them, how he plays right now, I love him. He's very exciting to watch, but I wouldn't really put him in the sort of elite young player sort of pool of talent until I start seeing some of that more development from him. Player number 8 right now. Well, that's a really gross looking 8. Sorry. Is I think we're gonna go another big man here. From what I see from the list here, I have a list here on my phone, and oh man, I really actually like this big man a lot. And besides Jaren, I can feel like it can maybe even be a player you can maybe build around, but we just really haven't seen it because he's been sort of second fiddle to another really great player. But if DeAndre Ayton had his own NBA team, sort of to mess around with like Jaren does in Sacramento, I don't know why is that so weird. I feel like we'd be able to show off his true skill. So, number 8 in this fantasy draft, DeAndre Ayton from the Phoenix Suns. Now, again, saying another big man here because you usually don't want to go entirely all guards or all bigs in sort of the NBA draft. You want to take some risk. And I feel like the risk of taking DeAndre Ayton here is a very high upside pick. Let's go to ESPN here. Like I was talking about before with DeAndre Ayton not really getting a lot of shine over in Phoenix because of Devin Booker isn't a sort of nudge or jab at Devin Booker. It's just they obviously have a lot of focus on what they want to do in Phoenix, which is totally fine. I totally understand that. He is still averaging 18 points per game, 12 rebounds a game, and 2 assists, over 20 in PER rankings, which is super nice. He is 22 years old in his second year in the NBA. Now, he has had a little bit of injury problem, knock on wood here, which scares me a little bit, but nothing to the point where I wouldn't take him as being, one of the next best centers in the NBA for years to come. Obviously, with a lot of older centers in the NBA now, and once he hits his prime in about 5 years, once he's finally in his mid-20s, players like Jokic, Gobert, Embiid, Yusuf Nurkic, players like that are going to be on their older, almost out of the NBA sort of ride. He'll be hitting his stride there during that time, and I think he might emerge as being, one of the top NBA centers in the NBA. He has been shooting the 3 a little bit more, but I would like to see him get better at that for sure. He does have a 75% free throw rating, which, if you look at free throw percentage, it's usually a good tell on how good they are as a shooter as a whole. So if you're a 75% free throw shooter, you should be able to make at least like 30 to 33% of your threes. At least I would think so. So that's something I would love to see him add to his game for sure. I feel like this pickup is still very safe, having a big 22-year-old 7-foot center who looks like can shoot the ball very well. Obviously, from free throw percentage in mid-range game, very nice. Has a very good back to the basket game, post moves, very good defensively already. Just obviously needs to, with age comes defense. With that, I feel like it's a very safe pick. So I'm gonna say DeAndre Ayton here. Player number 9 is another pretty safe pick, at least in my opinion. And like I said before, you can definitely put any of these players in different orders if you want to. 6 to 10 are very switchable, at least in my opinion. We are gonna go with Shea assists. So, again, as a shooting guard, not bad stats, but I want to see him as a point guard, you know, bring those assist numbers up, being able to control the game a little bit more now. Finally, in my opinion, being the true point guard will be a lot better. I think the year he had on the Clippers, he also played point/shooting guard and still only averaged 3 assists. So, again, while I sort of give the nudge to De'Aaron, a little bit better of a floor general. He averaged over a steal a game, which is really good. Almost a block as well for a guard. That's really, really good. Very high rebounding numbers as well. 80% from the free throw line, 34.7% from 3, and 47% from the field at 35 minutes a game. Looking very nice. Being a 6'5", 6'4" point guard is going to help him out immensely. You know, the NBA is now going to more of a bigger guard league, so that's going to help him out a lot. And like I said, if you really want to argue Shea over De'Aaron, totally fine. You could put, you know, De'Aaron here, DeAndre there, any which way you want to put these guys, but these guys are very high talented players, and I really, really like those positions they're all in right now. And with the last pick in the 23 and under NBA fantasy draft, we are going to be talking about a player who has arguably the highest potential, maybe, out of all these players, because we haven't really seen him a whole lot. But I feel like this is going to be a player who can change the outcome of the Western Conference if he can play right, which, in my opinion, is very scary to think about. But with the 10th pick, if I am this last team, I am going to be taking. It's going to be kind of hard to see. MCHAEL, right? Yep. Michael Porter Jr. Yes. Michael Porter Jr. with the last pick in this little draft we're doing. Michael Porter Jr. Now, some names we left off the list. Tyler Hero. I love Tyler Hero, but I don't feel like he really has that sort of it factor yet. Maybe he can develop it more, but Michael Porter Jr. I feel like is going to be a better defender. Maybe already is a better defender, can be a better defender. The length and height on Michael Porter Jr., my God, that dude's a 6'9", 6'10", ball handling, scoring forward, which the league is, every team is looking for that. Some other notable names left off the list. Mitchell Robinson, Marvin Bagley III, Wendell Carter Jr., P.J. Washington, R.J. Barrett from the Knicks, Kobe White, Marker Fultz, Jared Allen. There's a lot of really good names. Colin Sexton, which, again, as a player, you could even argue over some of these other guards if you really wanted to. There's some really, really good players that aren't being mentioned, but I feel like with these other players, we've seen a lot more of that sort of true star potential, at least all-star potential out of them. Maybe besides Michael Porter Jr., but I feel like he is just going to finally blossom into that player, especially, yes, if Denver finally gives him that sort of third option role that he's been asking for. Obviously, we saw what he talked about before in last year's playoffs being very controversial, but I think it really made a lot of sense if you look at his per 36 stats. Averages 20 points per game, a block, a steal, 2 assists, and 10 rebounds, 83% from the free throw line, 42% from 3, averaging 2.5 to 6 3-pointers a game on 50% shooting from the field per 36. Pretty crazy. I think in his regular stats, he only averaged 15 points per game. So obviously, I think next year he's going to get that starting small forwards role. He's going to try his very best to be that next option for Denver and finally help, carry that franchise to where they can be, because Denver is a team that only needs another option, and they are a championship contending team. And I feel like MPJ can be that next guy. So if we do see that out of MPJ this next season, of course he deserves to be on this list, So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, if you liked the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe. Almost at 5K. I love each and every one of you guys for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again in my next video.